1. Judge halts Trump's immigration raids, racial profiling ordered to stop. 2. Federal judge blocks ICE raids in California, Trump immigration crackdown halted. 3. U.S. judge halts Trump administration's immigration raids. 4. Federal judge halts discriminatory immigration raids in L.A., racial profiling lawsuit. 5. Governor Newsom's response to court ruling on immigration stops. 1. Judge halts Trump's immigration raids, racial profiling ordered to stop. A federal judge has made a bold move, ordering the Trump administration to cease immigration arrests without probable cause in Southern California. This ruling, delivered by Judge Maymusi Mensah-Frimpong, an appointee of former President Biden, is a significant step towards ensuring fair and constitutional immigration practices. The judge's decision comes after a case brought by the ACLU of Southern California, representing 5 individuals and immigration advocacy groups. They alleged that the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, which oversees ICE, has been making unconstitutional arrests and denying detainees access to legal counsel. Judge Frimpong's ruling is a direct response to these concerns. She ordered DHS to develop guidelines for officers to determine reasonable suspicion based on factors other than race, ethnicity, language, or occupation. This means that immigration raids in Los Angeles and surrounding areas must now have a solid foundation of evidence, not just assumptions or stereotypes. But here's where it gets controversial. The government argued that DHS agents initiate stops based on intelligence and trend analysis, not race or ethnicity. Judge Frimpong, however, was not convinced and pressed for evidence, stating, "It's hard for the court to believe you couldn't find one case with a report of why someone was targeted." In addition to the arrest guidelines, Judge Frimpong also blocked DHS from denying detainees access to legal counsel, including visits and calls, in a holding facility known as B-18. This is a crucial step towards ensuring the rights and fair treatment of those detained. The ruling has sparked reactions from various quarters. DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin condemned it, claiming that a district judge is undermining the will of the American people. On the other hand, California Governor Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass celebrated the ruling, emphasizing their commitment to upholding the law and the Constitution. And this is the part most people miss: the ruling is not just about immigration enforcement. It's about ensuring that everyone, regardless of their background, is afforded their constitutional rights. As Mohammed Taj Sar, senior staff attorney for the ACLU of Southern California, stated, "No matter the color of their skin, what language they speak, or where they work, everyone is guaranteed constitutional rights to protect them from unlawful stops." So, what do you think? Is this ruling a step towards a more just and fair immigration system, or does it go too far in restricting the government's ability to enforce immigration laws? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. 2. Federal judge blocks ICE raids in California, Trump immigration crackdown halted. A federal court has taken a bold step to halt Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, operations in California, reigniting a heated debate over the balance between national security and individual rights. This landmark ruling, issued by Judge Maymusi Mensah-Frimpong, a Biden appointee, has sent shockwaves through the legal and political landscape, forcing Americans to confront tough questions about the limits of law enforcement power. But here's where it gets controversial. The court has ordered ICE to stop detaining people in California unless agents have reasonable suspicion they're breaking the law. This means no more arbitrary arrests based on race, accent, or even where someone works. The judge cited the Fourth Amendment, which protects against unreasonable searches and seizures, saying ICE's current practices violate this fundamental right. Critics argue this could slow down lawful immigration enforcement, while supporters claim it's a necessary check against abuse. The case began as a simple request from 3 detained individuals but has since grown into a major legal battle. ICE denies the allegations, insisting their agents follow proper procedures. Meanwhile, local leaders like Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass have called the rulings unconstitutional, accusing the Trump administration of targeting immigrants with reckless raids. "We will never accept these outrageous acts as normal," she said, highlighting the human cost of the conflict. This isn't just about one state, it's a clash over how far government can go in enforcing immigration laws. The judge's order requires ICE to document every arrest, train officers on fair practices, and allow detainees immediate access to lawyers, a move that could reshape how immigration cases are handled nationwide. Yet, the controversy continues. Should law enforcement be allowed to prioritize speed over fairness, or does this ruling risk creating a system where everyone is treated equally under the law? What do you think? Are these restrictions justified, or do they risk undermining public safety? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. 3. U.S. Judge halts Trump administration's immigration raids. A federal judge in California has issued a significant ruling that requires the Trump administration to cease its practice of making indiscriminate arrests of individuals believed to be in the country without legal permission. This decision comes in the form of a temporary restraining order that was put in place on Friday, which also mandates that immigration officials cannot deny access to legal representation for those detained. The lawsuit that produced this ruling was initiated by 3 immigrants who were arrested at a Pasadena bus stop while they were merely seeking work, along with 2 U.S. citizens, one of whom had displayed valid identification during the encounter. The Department of Homeland Security responded to the judge's order via a social media post, suggesting that she was acting against the desires and will of the American populace. U.S. District Judge Mame Frimpong's orders are currently temporary as the legal proceedings move forward. In her ruling, she highlighted a considerable amount of evidence indicating that immigration officials have been engaging in what she described as roving patrols. These patrols involve the random rounding up of people without any reasonable suspicion, which she stated is a violation of the U.S. Constitution. Judge Frimpong emphasized that immigration arrests should never be based solely on characteristics like race, ethnicity, language, such as speaking Spanish or having an accent, or even mere presence in certain locations like bus stops or car washes. This ruling arrives during a time when the Trump administration is intensifying efforts to tackle illegal immigration, with a specific focus on California, a state known for its Democratic stronghold and a place that President Trump has openly criticized. The aggressive immigration raids in Los Angeles have sparked widespread protests, illustrating the strong community backlash against such enforcement measures. For instance, an immigration operation that took place at a marijuana farm in California resulted in tumultuous protests and the arrest of over 200 individuals, among which were 10 minors. Reports from the United Farm Workers indicated that some individuals suffered critical injuries amid the chaotic circumstances of the raids carried out in Ventura County. Advocates for human rights are voicing serious concerns, arguing that the government is engaging in illegal discriminatory practices that infringe upon individuals' constitutional rights. Mohammed Taj Sar, a senior staff attorney with the ACLU Foundation of Southern California, reinforced this sentiment in a statement, asserting that every individual deserves constitutional protections regardless of their skin color, language, or workplace. Despite these accusations, the government maintains that their priority lies in eliminating violent criminals. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) is reportedly striving to meet a quota of 3,000 arrests each day, aligning with Trump's larger aim of initiating what he describes as the largest deportation campaign in the nation's history. In response to the judge's ruling, Homeland Security highlighted in a statement on X that America's brave men and women are removing murderers, MS-13 gang members, pedophiles, rapists, truly the worst of the worst from Golden State communities. This situation raises important questions. How do we balance the need for security with the rights of individuals? Are the government's methods justified in the pursuit of this widespread operation? We invite you to share your thoughts and engage in this crucial dialogue. 4. Federal judge halts discriminatory immigration raids in LA, racial profiling lawsuit. In a bold move, a federal judge in Los Angeles has ordered the Trump administration to halt immigration sweeps that have been indiscriminately arresting people across Southern California without reasonable suspicion of being in the country illegally. This comes after the ACLU alleged in a lawsuit that people at a federal facility have been held in deplorable conditions and denied access to lawyers. Judge Mame Mensah Frimpong stated there is a mountain of evidence supporting claims that agents are arresting people based solely on race, accents, or work, violating the Fourth Amendment's protection against unreasonable government seizure. She issued 2 temporary restraining orders prohibiting immigration agents from stopping people without reasonable suspicion and requiring agents to give arrestees immediate access to lawyers. The orders could severely restrict the Trump administration's ability to continue carrying out raids that have sown fear and terror in immigrant and Latino neighborhoods since June 6. Department of Homeland Security spokeswoman Tricia McLaughlin criticized the ruling, stating, "A district judge is undermining the will of the American people." But here's where it gets controversial. Is this a case of upholding the rule of law, or is it a complete repudiation of the racial profiling tactics and denial of access to lawyers that the administration has utilized? The ruling is the latest potential roadblock for President Trump as he escalates his immigration crackdown by focusing on large, Democratic-run cities. Since early June, agents have repeatedly raided known hubs for Latino workers and arrested people they encounter in public solely because they have brown skin or are doing work often done by immigrants. Many of the arrests have been filmed by bystanders and posted to social media. In a sworn declaration, lead plaintiff Pedro Vasquez Perdomo said he believes he was arrested at a bus stop because of how he looks. "I was sitting with other workers and we all look Hispanic and were wearing construction work clothes." The ACLU argued that pressure to drive up immigration arrests has led agents to disregard legal and constitutional limits on their authority. Federal courts have ruled a person's appearance alone is not enough for reasonable suspicion. What do you think? Is this a case of racial profiling, or are agents simply doing their job? Voice your agreement or disagreement in the comments below. 5. Governor Newsom's response to court ruling on immigration stops. In a significant turn of events, a federal court has put a temporary stop to immigration enforcement practices in California that many have deemed unconstitutional. This ruling, which has garnered immediate acclaim from Governor Gavin Newsom, affects several counties including Los Angeles, Riverside, San Bernardino, Orange, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and San Luis Obispo. Critics argue that these enforcement tactics have led to racial profiling and serious violations of civil rights. The case, known as Vasquez Perdomo, et al. V. Noem, has resulted in a court order that prevents federal immigration agents from conducting stops without any reasonable suspicion. This decision is seen as a crucial victory for justice and the protection of constitutional rights, as highlighted by Newsom in a statement released from his office. He expressed, "Justice prevailed today. The court's decision puts a temporary stop to federal immigration officials violating people's rights and racial profiling." Newsom did not hold back in his criticism of the immigration policies associated with Stephen Miller, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. He described Miller's agenda as one filled with chaos, cruelty, and fear. The governor emphasized that instead of focusing on genuinely dangerous individuals, federal officials have been detaining innocent Americans and hardworking individuals arbitrarily. This has resulted in families being torn apart and individuals being subjected to harsh detention conditions, all in an effort to meet unreasonable arrest quotas, disregarding due process and the constitutional rights that safeguard everyone from such injustices. Newsom firmly stated, "That should stop now." The lawsuit claims that federal agents have been stopping individuals without probable cause, disproportionately affecting Latino communities and infringing upon their due process rights. Newsom reiterated California's commitment to upholding the law and the foundational principles upon which the nation was built, urging the Trump administration to align with these values. This temporary injunction is just the latest chapter in the ongoing legal struggle surrounding immigration enforcement in sanctuary jurisdictions like California. As this situation unfolds, it raises important questions about the balance between national security and civil liberties. What are your thoughts on the effectiveness of these immigration policies? Do you believe they protect or violate the rights of individuals? Join the conversation in the comments below.